Hello and welcome to this quick morning energizing flow. We're going to be moving through a lot of hip opening, a lot of side body opening, really waking up your body to the world, to the present moment, and giving you a lot of spaciousness for the day so you feel like you just drank a few nice coffees without the caffeine. I invite you to start this practice with me on all fours in tabletop position. Stack your shoulders above your wrists here. Tuck your toes and find a nice, comfortable, stable position here. We're just gonna wiggle around a little bit for some nice cats and cows, waking up the spine here, perhaps swaying from side to side. Really, whatever feels good. You might notice that your body is all sorts of cranky this morning, that your spine and your hips and your pelvis just need some time to gently wake up. Begin noticing the breath, how it travels from your nose to your chest, to your belly, and expanding into your side body. Perhaps finding a nice child's play, sinking your hips down to your sit bones and back up. Rolling in whatever direction your body is inviting you to. Just taking this moment to arrive in this practice, to arrive in your morning, in your body. Well done. And on the next in-breath, gently pick up the knees from the mat, activate your core here, and start walking your hands back to come into your Malasana pose. Here, if you need to make use of any props at all, perhaps a block underneath your sit bones or any cushions, feel free to do so. Stay here for just one moment. Option to take prayer arms and press into your legs here, elbows pressing out into the knees. Next, in breath, start walking the arms, the hands towards the front of the mat. Hover the knees above the mat, drop them down, release. Let's repeat a few more times, syncing with the breath. Breath in, lift up the knees. Start walking the hands back. Drop into your deep squat or Malasana. Open up with prayer pose, elbows pushing into the knees. Breathe in, start walking forward, hover the knees, come back down, and feel this activation already in your core, in your whole body, starting to build up some fire. Start walking back, nicely dropping into your deep squat, feeling that lengthening of the spine here, and the opening of the hips, preparing the body for the practice. 2 more times. Walk back, drop the knees, activate the core, strong, lift up the knees. Walk back, press out, feel those hips opening here, perhaps sway from side to side. This is your time to play. Release back down to center, walking the hands. Let's do one more time. Lift up the knees, walk back, open up for deep squat Malasana. Walk the hands back, hover the knees, hold, hold, hold. Don't drop just yet. And release. On the next in-breath, let's meet in your down dog. Lifting up the hips high, shooting them up to the ceiling. Your knees perhaps still bent here. Feel free to paddle out your feet. Sinking into the movement. Whatever it takes to really soften your body into this pose right now. Take a few deep breaths here. And when the next In breath comes step with the right foot forward into your low lunge. Again, feel free to grab a yoga block here if your hips are feeling super stiff and you cannot sink so low just yet. Now keep that left foot tucked here and the knee hovering just a little bit above the mat. On the next out breath, drop it down to the floor. Next in breath, lift up. Really feeling that psoas muscle here elongating at the front of our hips. Let's repeat a few more times. Lifting up the knee, dropping it down. Try to keep the upper body soft but strong. Really activating your hips, opening the front of your hips, which is going to help you so much throughout your day. 2 more times, lifting up, holding that stretch. Feel that discomfort perhaps. Move through it and release back down. One last time, lift up and release. Well done. Now pick up your right arm and circle it behind you for a nice little back opening here, working in your thoracic spine. And circle back down to center. Repeat this a few more times, really noticing how it feels in your upper and middle back. To circle that arm behind you, your gaze follows that arm. Open up. Come back to center. 2 more times. And on the last time, I invite you to keep your arm in your hand where it is. Pick up your left foot off of the mat here and see if you can grab it with your right arm for a nice little opening of the left side body here. And maybe you can try to press that foot towards your sit bones. Maybe you just hang out wherever that's comfortable for you right now. Just hanging out for a moment in this deep hip stretch. And slowly release the foot. Come back to center with your right arm. And now walk with both hands towards the long side of your mat, turning your torso to the left side. And perhaps if you have more space here, you can drop down onto your elbows or stay on your hands, whatever feels good here, really opening up that hip and accessing that deep hip stretch that you otherwise wouldn't in these hip opening poses. Just maybe sway from side to side, feel how that feels in your body. Come back to center. Let's repeat 2 more times, walking out the hands to the side, perhaps sinking onto your elbows here. Lift up. Come back to center. One last time. Working with your spine and your hips here in unison. Lift up back to center. Now pick up the right foot, shoot it back into plank. Find your down dog for a nice little reset here. We're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Just take a breather here, elongating both your lower and upper body. And with the next in-breath, step the left foot forward. Find your low lunge, perhaps adjust your right foot here, slide it out, tuck it nicely for support. And as you do, lift up the right knee, press it back down. Again, feeling that deep opening in the right psoas line. Few more times. It doesn't really matter how much you're lifting up. Just make sure that the intention is there to Stretch that hip flexor, stretch this muscle that so often gets so tense whenever you're sitting for too long. 2 more times, lifting up, releasing down. Up, hold, 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 and down. 1 last time, lift up the knee, hold in that stretch, perhaps sway from back to front and see how that feels. If there's perhaps a deeper stretch available for you. And on the next out breath, drop the knee and relax. Pick up the left hand, circle it behind you, follow it with your gaze. Working on that spine, warming up your upper back. And introduce some fluidity into this movement, imagining that you're drawing a nice rainbow in the sky. Moving with your breath. In breath, come up. Out breath, come back down. Notice how nice this feels in your whole back. How does this working your vertebrae one by one. 1 last time. Come back with the arm, leave it where it is. Now pick up your right foot. Perhaps stay here for a nice little stretch. You can once again press that foot towards your sit bones, whatever feels good here. Just opening, perhaps looking behind you. Breathing into the right hip here. Well done. Slowly release the foot back down. Circle the arm to the front. And this time take both hands to face the long side of your mat on the right side. Once again, feel free to stay on your hands here or drop down to your elbows. Come back up and to center. Hands come to the long side of the mat. Back to center. And 1 last time, staying here a while longer in this stretch. Perhaps now you're a little bit warmed up so you can come down onto your elbows. Well done. Come up, come back to center. And on the next in-breath, pick up the left foot, find your plank here. And from plank, we meet in down dog for a little breather, a little reset here. Well done. You can now drop onto your knees to come into tabletop position. And from this tabletop, I invite you to take your right foot and rotate it to the outside of the mat. So you come to a nice supported side plank here. Lifting up your arm up above and across. Feeling that elongation of your whole side body. The whole left side getting nicely, wonderfully stretched out. Just sink into this stretch for a moment. And now you have the option to either stay in this supported plank for the next few movements that we're gonna do, or pick up the right foot and come up to a full side plank. So whatever feels good, take your options here, and we begin. Drop your hips down to the mat, tapping, shooting the hips up. Dropping down, tap and shoot up. Noticing how this is building up so much fire in your body already. 2 more times. Come back down. Shoot the hips up. 1 last time, drop down. Come up, well done. If you were doing your full plank, come into your supported plank to take a nice little breather here. And once again, you move to another movement, feel free to take it on your knee or expand it to full side plank. Bring your elbow to your knee and open up. Elbow to knee. Open up. Don't forget to breathe. 3 more times. Closing, nice rounded spine. Opening. Keep going with your breath. Well done. And from here, grab your left foot with your hand behind you just for a nice little back opening here to feel that stretch in the back and the whole side body. Well done. Keep breathing, one more breath. And release back down to center. Come through the plank and find your down dog once again for a nice little breather here. We're gonna switch sides. This time, drop onto your left side. I'm gonna turn here so you can better see the movements. Option here is to keep your left knee on the floor for the whole duration of this part of the flow, or pick the left foot up. First, let's just sink into these openings right here, the right body opening for you. And feeling how it is to shoot the hips up and to feel your armpit opening, your upper chest shining towards the front of the room. And whenever you're ready, either stay in this position or pick up your left foot here for a full plank, dropping the hips down, picking them up. We'll repeat 4 more times. Down, up, down, up, down, up. One last time. Come back down. Option to stay here and close the elbow to the knee here 5 times. If this is too much, feel free to come into your supported side plank. Building up the fire in the body. Breaking a little sweat. Well done. Come back into your supported side plank here. Grab your right foot with your right hand and open up for a nice little back bend here. At the same time, feeling your right hip opening. Well done. Come back into your tabletop position. And from tabletop, shoot the hips up to down dog. Reset here for just a moment. Deep breaths into the belly, expanding the lungs to the sides. And now with the next in-breath, come into a high plank pose. And from here, take your left foot, drop it behind your right knee, and open up for a baby wild thing. On the next in-breath, circle your arm back to the front, meet in plank, and pick up your right foot, drop it behind your left knee, open up for your wild thing here. Come back to center, find your high plank, find your down dog, reset here, we're almost done. Few deep breaths here, elongating that spine. Maybe your legs are straight at this point, shooting the hips up and back. And with the next in-breath, step or jump to the front of your mat. Find a nice and beautiful halfway lift here. Once again, elongating that spine and feeling your hamstrings stretching here. And now take your left foot and place it just behind your right foot here. Notice how this changes the stretch, how the side body gets involved a little bit more. Perhaps bounce a little bit into the leg. And feel free to forward fold here, whatever feels good for your body. On the next in-breath, come up with the legs still intertwined. Lift up your arms above your head. Now turn your whole body towards the right side for a nice little side body opening here. Come back to center. Release back down into halfway lift. Come with the left foot back to center, and this time take the right foot and weave it behind the left foot. Feel the stretch in the right side body. Perhaps sway from side to side, front to back. And on the next in-breath, come up, lifting up the arms above your head and turning to the left side, shooting your hips to the right here. Come back to center, release, let go of the twist of your legs, come back to the center of your mat. I want to thank you for joining me in this class. Feel free to take your Shavasana if you would like to calm down your energy, take a breather, or feel free to just start going about your day with the newfound energy that you have in your body. Thank you for joining me.